Okay, so this is part 3, and we are at the moment explaining a simple requirement in the exam question here, which is to initialize the type array and the price array. Okay, so this is actually given using a table in the exam question itself. And if you cannot remember from the previous requirement, so as you can see here, so this is a table that we are going to use to initialize the wood type and the price type. Okay, so no, sorry, this is the wood type and the price arrays, and they say that here that is the data here is initialized. The data are stored in the two 1D arrays, and they are sharing the same index. The only issue here is that they are starting index from 1, so they are following the pseudocode way of doing things. But since we are using Python, so we need to do a little modification here in our code. So at the moment, if you look here, you will see that laminate is actually starting at index 0. So to follow the exact requirement, so we are going to actually use, we have to modify this too, okay? So let me try to push this a bit forward because, okay, let me try to escape here, give the way, so because it was not clear, I think now it's appearing here. So before we talk about modifying this, so this is the two arrays that we have. The other two arrays. This is the 2D array. That's going to, this is a quotation, is going to store many data here, which is a room length, a room width, area, and choice, and so on. And this is just 1D array that is going to store a list of strings for all the customers. So we are taking the customer name and we are inserting the customer name and saving it inside this variable. And if you have, if you still remember, we have done this as a part of here, if you can see. So this is exactly taking the customer name, okay? But this is just a template showing us. So we have to insert this portion here, okay? And okay, for now, okay, so if you see here, I already modified these two 1D arrays so that now here 0 and the index of laminate is 1, pine is 2, oak is 3, and this is the index 0, 1, 2, 3. So for the price for laminate is 29.99. So whatever choice that the user will do, the choices from that will be given to the user is that he choose from 1 or 2 or 3. So if he choose one of those, then we can immediately start to actually locate the type of the wood and its price. Okay, so let us have a look here. Okay, so here we are using the template, which is the validation input template. Okay, so in this template, we are actually going to validate two things. This is just a template that it consists of 3 lines, and it's very important that you memorize this because most of the exam question and scenario question come with the validation requirement. So that is something that you can guarantee inside your bucket. Okay, so now, okay, the template say we are taking an integer that look, it's between this value and this value. So this is minimum and maximum, and we have a while loop that checks the input lies in between these two inputs, two values, and then we're taking the user input and we are saving it inside here. Okay. So this will only get executed if you did not insert the correct value from the first time. Now, let us look how we can modify this template so that we can use it to validate the length and the width. So in the exam, he mentioned about he mentioned here that he would like to actually take an input, room length, room width, and then he asked to check each measurement is valid. So this is a validation. He required validation here. And then he say the floor measurement, which is the room length and width, which need to be validated, is taken into meters, and the values lies between 1.5 to 10 meter inclusive. So which means that we need to validate the input that it is between 1.5 to 10. So let us have a look how we can modify the template so that it actually work for validating values between 1.5 and 10. So this 1.5 and 10.0 is actually decimal points, so we are not able to, we have to modify the template. So instead of checking integer here, we are using float instead, so that we can convert the string into float and we save it into length. And then, of course, as we said before, this can actually be removed. So I mean, if the length is less than 1.5 or bigger than 10, so we have to actually say to him, enter again the room length. And then we modify it to take the room width, and also it lies between 1.5 to 10. And then we go through this while loop, and the print statement can be ignored because we actually putting the same text here inside the input. So this is how we modify the template for the validation to work for the room length and the room width. So we stop here and we continue in the next part, other part of the questions, how to answer it.